we're actually working right now on trying to figure out how to divide up some of the responsibilities of volunteers in our neighborhood so that the burden doesn't fall so heavily on a few. As we all know, every now and then, all of us have to sort of take a break from it because it's so much work and it's so much effort and so many hours. And it's not that you resent them, but you have a life, you know, and you have to work and you have to do all these other things. So we're trying to figure out right now how to take our volunteer duties and divide them up into smaller bite-sized pieces so that when we're talking with neighborhood people and they say, well, I want to volunteer and I want to help out, we're trying to figure out how to make it easier for them. Maybe we can have 5 people doing one task instead of one person doing 5 tasks. The second part of that is, one of the reasons we're doing that is, and this is actually something the Department of Neighborhoods that could be helping us with this, we want to work on building community rather than having to deal with the logistics and the contacting stuff. Why can't we have the Department of Neighborhoods providing every neighborhood in the city with a website? Why aren't they providing that for us? Why can't we have the Department of Neighborhoods be providing us with all of those sort of things that just take our time to schedule? We have to schedule places to have the meeting. We have to schedule this. We have to schedule that. If we had DON being able to support us in those ways, then we can actually do a little bit more of the work of reaching out to the people that we want to reach out to. Who doesn't like those conversations with people? Why not give us, so then the day things are sort of taken care of by the department, and then we can go out there and do the fun stuff and make it fun for other people. So that's sort of what we're doing, is trying to figure out how to let people participate without overwhelming them, and how to create community instead of a volunteer network.
Okay.
Dan Sanchez, Chair of Central Area District Council. I like that the community councils, I was struggling with what I was going to say, trying to remember what our mission statement was. I like that folks from community councils were talking, because that's what we are. We're a community of community councils. That's what district council is. Our focus has always been to support the goals of our different individual members. As one thing that immediately came to mind was a developer was working on a low-income outpatient mental health facility with like residences in it. And we have one of our members is with the African American Veterans Organization. And at that very meeting that just happened last week, on the fly, just like that, he worked out a meeting space for his group in a way that he can communicate with that group because it's right next door. That happened last week. We did that, didn't even know it was going to happen. So we provide that forum for our people. We do things, we spend a lot of our time just fixing the city schools. And I'll list a couple of them right now, but the main thing I want to point out to the reporters in this room, there are 2 reports that just came out recently. Both of them are titled Final Report. If you look at the 10-page one, the shorter of the 2, it's an entire indictment of their own neighborhood council.
Yes.
The bullet points is a list of the way they failed us. It's insane. And they come out and act like, look at the reasons why district council shouldn't exist. It's like, because you didn't do anything for us?
It's our fault.
I mean, it's crazy. I encourage every reporter to look at that 10-page document, and it's the Department of Neighborhoods is indicting themselves. Like, they don't even talk about district council that much. But, okay, so when the businesses on 23rd Avenue, when they were looking for mitigation funds, they were so hurt by the way the construction worked out. 3 of our members, myself included, we did the reach out to the different businesses. We gathered 50 signatures of small business owners, and that's what got the mayor to provide mitigation funds. So that's what we do at district council, is mostly just fix the city screw-ups. Is what I'm sorry, I'm a little upset.
Downtown. Name and district.
David Levinson, Downtown District Council. Look, I just want to say one thing. Everything everybody has said so far is true. The truth of the matter is that the mayor would prefer things moving from the top down rather than from the bottom up. that is not going to get volunteers.
Nope.
That's all.
I wish that we had thought to hire a consultant and spent 5 hours to really get an official list. It feels like we've been playing whack-a-mole for a while. So if we wanted to dream big, if I wanted to dream big about next steps, I would have translated materials at all meetings. I would have meetings where people already are. So yes, it's wonderful, and I will bang the drum again of how district councils are a place that amplify our members' voices and connect people and how great that is. And none of us want to go in, okay, I won't speak for any of you. I don't want to go to any more open houses. I don't want to go and put sticky notes on any more boards. I don't want to do survey monkeys. I don't want to extort, I meant export, but it is extortion. Other people to do all that either. I would like outreach to be where people are and appropriate for what they're already doing. So I've long joked that if our agendas, before our neighborhood district coordinator was cut and we stopped meeting, our agendas were becoming very streamlined because I could say, no, there's no such thing as a 5-minute agenda item, so you can't come because we don't have enough time for what you're really going to need to do. Port of Seattle talking about the Terminal 5. Like, no, that's not 5 minutes. No, you don't have translated material. No, you can't come. So I spent a lot of time playing whack-a-mole and saying no. And if I wanted to look big and think about next and what I would like next, I like the phrase engaging the community instead of volunteers. I would like to be able to explain succinctly to people why it's relevant for them to participate. And I think that ties in with Neighborhood Matching Fund and all these other grants. People come when there's money on the table. So if you would like to apply for grants, participate before you apply for grants. And also part of your match could be tied into paying it forward to help others apply. Whether that provides computer equipment, whether that provides translation, whether you're acting as a fiscal sponsor, I would like to do those connections so that we can have the potlucks. You spoke about our enhancement funds and using that to hire a consultant. For the record, for the media that's been covering this and confusing district councils and neighborhood councils and this idea of city-funded discrimination, the actual investment that district councils receive from the city is $500 a year. Many district councils don't actually spend it. Others spend the entirety on meeting space. We used ours to host a candidate forum, a ballot party, a race and social justice training, and put someone through the PACE program. This year, we used it to buy pizza for the 40-some people that came to submit neighborhood park and street fund applications and the 20-some people reviewing it. And we still have money left, which I have asked, and I'm going to ask in person. We want our taco money, please. It's not a lot of money. We'll feed anyone who shows up. It doesn't have to be tacos. I haven't talked to the board. But I'm really serious. I think that the role of neighborhood district coordinators, and that's my next. My next is to not lose contact with people who actually know me, know my neighbors, and I can say, if you call this person, you will be treated with respect. You will get accurate information. They will answer their phone. They will know what they're talking about, and they will listen to you. And that's my next. And before Wednesday, my next had some specifics. But right now, I just want to know that if I say to someone who has a problem, here's someone who will treat you respectfully and give you accurate information. I think that's a pretty low baseline, and I don't feel like it's possible right now. So that's my.
North Regional Council. So 2 major issues that we're working on is saving our small businesses from displacement. So in Lake City, we have a whole bunch of wonderful small businesses, ethnic restaurants. We have a wonderful place called Manila, where you can get home-cooked Filipino food, Monday through Sunday, 12 to 4 p.m. She's in danger of displacement because of the 500-unit apartment units. So how do we preserve these wonderful businesses that are culture in one of our core districts? Another issue is Lake City still doesn't have a full-service community center to serve our teens, our seniors, and our community. And really, we've been waiting for that for decades. And it's a disgrace. A lot of teens have nothing to do, and that contributes to a whole bunch of challenges as well. So those are two main issues we're working on. How many of our districts want more and better parks?
Yay!
Youth activities.
Lots of youth.
All right.
Crosswalks.
Crosswalks.
Sidewalks!
Safe routes to school.
Equitable public safety investments.
Oh, I like it.
Reasonable public transit routes.
Yeah. Yeah. All of it. Yeah, go.
More hours for the community centers.
More hours for the community centers.
Yep.
Yes, it is. This is all next. This is
Well,
all
I think we
next.
should mention Myers Way because that was a big win that we just had because of relationships that we made across the city. Because I know there were people from Ballard at that meeting and other places. And the other thing is that annexation of our friends next door is still on the table and it's looking likely. And if HPAC and other folks from Delridge hadn't spoken up and said, why aren't you talking to White Center or High Top or any other neighborhoods that aren't part of Seattle right now, but possibly will be, and this is actually in their backyard, you're gonna do this to them? That, we would have had a huge warehouse there. And South Park would have been more congested with more bad air and anything else. So thank you for the win, Mayor, and if this is our prize, we want to give it back.
Nancy Folsom, North Delridge Neighborhood Council, Delridge, there are too many DNVCD and CNC rep. One of my big next is that we stop using grants for infrastructure. And we stop neighbors, so we have to eat each other's young in order to get sidewalks.
No more honey days!
No more holidays! Infrastructure is infrastructure. Grants should be for a minute.
So, the third, and I think most important question that I feel personally we should have been asked as district councils at the outset of this conversation. We've already touched on it a little bit tonight, but we can dig a little deeper, I bet. What do you need, district councils? And how can we, the DON, support you?
Well, that's what I want to know. Yeah.
Michael Judge, Austin Salvage. Currently co-chair of North Delridge Neighborhood Council. We have been asking for years, a lot of us in this room have been asking for years for a number of things. Help doing outreach, help organizing email lists so that when the city departments try to come out to us, they have a go-to place to email and who are the contacts of organizations. Help with translation, help with things. A lot of the stuff that's in the 2009 audit, which the city told us, so when we got hit by the recession, the city said we need to cut back, we can't do this now, we'll get back to this. And then failed to get back to this. And it's really aggravating to see our mayor basically walk through what's in that audit and say, well, all these things that aren't getting done by the councils, that's why they're not represented. Well, if we would fulfill the money that was spent on a consultant 7, 8 years ago, in order and put those into practice, perhaps we would already be a lot further along towards the vision that the mayor has. It's also incredibly aggravating as someone who has a council in a low-income neighborhood with a lot of renters, with a lot of immigrants, with a lot of non-English speakers, that when we're told we're not being representative enough. And we talk about how hard it was for us to do a couple of events and get materials translated ourselves at our own cost to walk those materials door to door and hang them on people's mailboxes. To try and get people out about a development that was the DESC development that came into our neighborhood, to help us talk about how to actually welcome that in a way that benefited both DESC and the community they were coming into, and the residents that we knew were going to be in that building. And then find out that not only is the city cutting resources to us, but then turns around and hires people to go out into these communities that we're trying to reach out to. That hires people to translate materials for those communities, and then tells us they don't have any money to help us translate materials. And so there seems to be a real conflict with what they expect us to do, what they don't fund us for, and then where they send the money to other people to do the things that they wish they complain we're not doing.
What do we need from DON?
I just wanted to respond to what you said. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but
Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm Kelly McKinney, live in North Seattle, Lake area.
Are you on council?
Huh?
Council?
Council.
What council?
I'm a member of the Broadview Community Council, but I'm not a part of the board. But I was just going to say one little thing to him in response. That the POELs are project-based, so they're very specific in what it is that they're supposed to do. And I personally feel that they should just help doing the outreach, period. That's my opinion.
So let's take that look at the DON and what the DON can do for the district councils. Yeah.
Dan Sanchez, Central Area District Council. What I want from DON is all the stuff the mayor just promised to the groupies to get for. That's what I don't, like it's like, you guys are doing a terrible job from outreach. That's for outreach. That's why I'm going to direct the city's IT department to help this other group I'm going to hand pick. Like, that's what I want. I want that. And as I was thinking about just going to move forward, I'm trying to think, like, what's possible? Well, I guess we can apply for grants. We can create a budget that way by competing with these other resources, the budget thing, we all have stories of, some AstroTurf group that DBD or SDOT created to apply for grants that they have so they can, spend money off budget on their own projects. We've all got those stories. But I guess one good thing, if the mayor hurries up and does this, I think we'll be free to endorse mayor candidates.
That's true.
So, Troy Myers, I'm with the Squire Park Community Council, and we deliver newsletters to 3,000 doorsteps in 82 blocks. We are very engaged with our community. I'm also the CMC Secretary, I'm the East PAC Chair, I'm on the East District Council, and I'm on the Central Area District Council. And I'm able to do all those things because I'm nearly 50. When I was 20, I couldn't do it. When I was 30, I couldn't do it. I can now. What I want from Dawn is accountability. They have scapegoated us as volunteers before, and we have to hold them accountable this time and make sure that they don't get away with this. And I have some really good news. I talked to the mayor on Saturday at the East Precinct picnic, and he told me that the tool set that's going to be made available is going to be available to me. So I assume that means it'll be made available to everybody. And I have a meeting with the mayor's staff tomorrow, actually, to work out the details. So I'll let everybody know how that goes.
Name and district council.
Andrew Taylor, East District.
Speak louder, please.
Andrew Taylor, East District. We have 53 minutes left. Can we assume from now on that we don't get anything we ask for, and can we scheme as to how we are going to proceed as how are we going to carry on if the city gives us what they said they're going to give us, which is nothing? In other words, how do we move forward without them?
Right.
That's why I thought I was here.
Okay, and we'll get to that.
But when?
Before 53 minutes expire. Yeah.
I'm Amanda K. Hillman. I am from the Delaware District. I am chair of the West Production Lower Heights Community Council. I ran for city council and did a lot of stuff in the community. What I would like from DON is respect. That's what I would like. Because what I don't appreciate is you guys coming and telling us what you think we do. Because you don't know what we do. Because you don't come to our meetings. You don't come to the CNC meetings. You don't come to the city council meetings. And you sure as hell don't come to my community meeting to find out what's going on. You assume, and then you make assumptions about that, and then you publicize them and make us into bad person. So what I would like from you is respect. Period.
Charlie Bookman, Magnolia Queen Anne District Council. You framed the question of what we want from DON. I'd like to frame it as to what we want from the mayor. When we try to reach out to groups who do not participate regularly on our district council, the typical question is, well, why should I? And we have some say over the neighborhood matching fund priorities. We have some say over the neighborhood park and street fund priorities. But these are peanuts in the city budget. There are many other programs that would benefit from coordination through all of our district councils. OED, small business grant programs, Office of Arts and Culture programs, public art. I could list half a dozen, but in the interest of time. So, Mr. Mayor, please increase our scope of authority. In other words, invest in us in outreach, communications, and give us the authority we need to attract some of the key players who aren't interested. There are some chambers of commerce who say, well, why should I? Having more authority would help that.
Okay.
I want DON to give us the $1.2 million that they say they're spending on the 9 district coordinators. I want those 9 district coordinators full-time, the entire $1.2 million spent in our neighborhoods.
I want 13 district coordinators back.
Because this is an unusual gathering, thanks to the Delaware.
Are you a council?
Pardon?
Are you a council?
Since Troy has this meeting coming up, should we carry a message from this group of maybe no confidence in the mayor's decision on this, at least as a starting point?
So yeah, we're working on it.
Okay, I wrote a quick list. What I would like to DON does help support us with, and a lot of this has already been mentioned by other people. I would like IT support for mailing, for email lists. I would like IT support for websites. I would like IT support and social media training. A lot of our neighborhoods don't understand social media all that well, even though we all do it all the time. I would like to have video cameras available so that we can all record our meetings and put them up on the website provided by the city. I would like the city to help us get those videos up onto the website, because a lot of us don't have that training on how to convert those videos into the correct formats. I know lots of incidences in which you have professionals do it and they still have a hard time doing it. So when you have a community group doing it, you need that sort of support. I would like to have support with newsletter printing. We deliver our newsletter to 4,000 people. In fact, this evening on the way to the meeting, I stopped at the park and put it up on our kiosk so that people could see the newsletter was going out. Because we're having our summer social next Wednesday, and if anyone wants free ice cream, come out to Maple Leaf. I would like support with a larger matching fund amounts. What you could get for $100,000 20 years ago, you can't get for $100,000 nowadays. And a lot of these large matching funds, I find with our projects, they go over the $100,000 amount. And so there's no way to accomplish some of these things with the neighborhood. We need it to increase along with inflation. I would like to see liaisons to city departments from the Department of Neighborhoods. So when I'm having a problem with getting someone, actually, I can't say this with SDOT because I have a person at SDOT that is very responsive. But if I have a problem in another department, I want the Department of Neighborhoods to advocate for my neighborhood to that department and say, fix this problem. That's what I would like from it. I would like a matrix of the outreach support. when they do the outreach, share the information with me so I know where the weak areas are, so I know who to contact, so I know people that I contacted wasn't efficient enough. Share the information. How can you say that you love Seattle and not love the people that live in Seattle and be so disrespectful of you? Last of all, I would like to have working with the schools. Wouldn't it be nice if it didn't take you 6 weeks to book a room in the school? Is there some way that our school district and our city can manage to work together with neighborhoods? We like schools, we like kids, let's get this work going.